to ask ourselves, what mind do I have on? Because we reflected on the phrase, put on the mind of Christ. And the idea that you put a mind on, or that the mind is something that you can take on or put on or take off or change, has led to an interesting sort of set of questions. Are we aware of what mind we have on? And do we have different minds that we put on and take off? And I've been reflecting a lot about it and thinking, yeah, we do that all the time. So the mind we have on is actually, it comes with a whole set of presuppositions and phrases. The mind talk is dependent on the mind we have on. I remember, somebody saying, at work he had a difficult boss, and he was very timid at work, and would all try to avoid the boss. But then one day he came home and he was angry, and he was so cross with the dog, he kicked the dog. And he said it was so out of character. At work he was one person, at home he was another person. And I thought, well, that happens quite often. I mean, you go to work and you even dress differently, you present yourself differently. You go to the sports club or to wherever, and you're a different person. People who don't know you there meet you there and say, oh, I didn't know that you drank beer, or whatever it is. It's like, so we almost like set ourselves up in different contexts. And so how does that affect us? The story about the guy who comes home from work and the gates open and there's rubbish on the front veranda outside, and he walks in the house, the lounge is in a state, and the children are wandering around without their nappies on, and the dog's done a mess on the kitchen floor. The house is chaos. And he walks around looking for his wife. Eventually he goes upstairs and she's lying on the bed reading. And he said, "Hon, what's going on?" She says, "Nothing. Why?" He says, "Well, why is the house in such a mess?" She says, "Well, when you always ask me, what have I done today? Well, today I didn't do it."
That's a good one.
So, can we risk not doing what we always do and see the difference? Because we're doing it, and it's like we have this mind, and the problem with the mind that we put on, it comes with a set. So we have a mindset, and that's quite a powerful statement, because once your mind is set, you have a mindset, it's immovable. And so the mind talk that comes with that is going to be quite set and settled. And you can ask yourself, what sort of mind do I have? And how do I move between one mind and another? And then I realized that they're actually different areas. If I ask you functionally, what mindset do you have? In other words, are you good at doing things administratively, managing things, controlling things, tidying, doing your accounts?
No.
In other words, functionally, what is your mindset? I was counseling somebody today who said, I'm very organized. I have to have everything in its place and everything sorted. And that's important for me. So I could almost imagine the mindset saying, it's got to be like this. That's out of place. I must put it in its place. You can hear the mind working when it says, I have to be everything in its place. So functionally, you can ask yourself, what mindset do I have? Am I easygoing? I'll do it tomorrow, or it doesn't really matter, my accounts aren't up to date, or I like to be fluid and I like to do it like this and like that, or I'm very controlled, or it has to be the right way. You can ask yourself, what mindset do I have? Write down something. How are you functionally? Do you say, it must be like this, I can do it like this, I will do it? Or do you say, I can't do it, I've got to find somebody else to do it? The other day I said, put a plug on, to somebody wanted to put a plug on. I said, why don't you do it yourself? Oh no, I don't pick up. My wife says I can't touch any tool because I'm useless at DIY.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. My wife ever told me that, I'd fall over. So, functionally, what is how do you see yourself? Are you a capable person, or are you a person who likes to get experts to do the job? You get a plumber in, or you get whatever. And that gives you a certain frame of reference. Your mind gives you a certain way of responding. You can think of a relationship. What mindset, what mind do you have on in relationships? Are you the leader or are you the follower? Are you emotional or are you rational? Are you do you try and please, or do you want to have it your way? Are you critical, or are you always soft? Do you have high expectations, or are you easygoing? And you can ask yourself, how do I tend to? What would your friends say about your relational mindset or way of being relationally? But in different contexts, you end up being a different person, because it's almost like we put on a different outfit or a different mask or a different mind, and in that context, we're like that, and we're true to that. But we're not aware that we actually are changing our mind all the time. And what I'm leading up to is, how do we change our mind? How do we choose the mind we're going to put on, rather than become a victim of the minds that we've always worn? The way we've always been is not helpful, because historically we've landed up being like that because we were just trying to survive, or circumstances. But if we want to regain our choice, we need to ask ourselves, so why am I like this in this context and like that in that context? And do I actually have a choice? If I have no choice, well, then I'm my own victim. But if I have a choice, what is triggering that particular mindset? In certain contexts, you end up behaving in a particular way. And afterwards, you might not even like yourself for behaving like that. But because you think that the context requires that, you almost like you can do it. My sense is that what we're doing here is we're wanting to say, what choice, am I living the way I want to live? We think we have no choice in that, but actually, on the other hand, we're doing it all the time. So why aren't we making the connection? If I can choose, if I can switch from one mind to another in different situations, but here say I've got no choice, who am I fooling? Or why am I not seeing what I'm doing? All the time when I'm counseling, the question is, how do I change? I can't change. I know what I should do, I know what I want, but I can't do it. I can't get there. And the question is, because we're stuck in the way we think. We're stuck in the way we learn. We're stuck in the way we think this is normal. And so we see a picture and we'd like to be there, but this is where we are. So what tools do we have for making the shift? How do we change our over-anxiety or our anger or our fear or our jealousy? They're there. And we can change, but because our patterns have become so entrenched, then we sort of become our own enemy. We sort of become our own prison.
So
and it works through our mind. It works through our mind talk. But we're doing it the other way. You go to work and suddenly you're a good little boy, and you weren't like that at home. So what did you do, or what happened? I'm intrigued at how change happens or doesn't happen. And change tends to only happen when we suffer, because then it becomes intolerable to carry on. And I think, well, there must be a better way of changing before the wheels fall off, or before you have a heart attack, or before, that's when real change happens, because then, everything falls apart, and then you almost like scrambled. But to make more meaningful change, to make choices daily that are more meaningful, we almost need to unlearn patterns of being, so that we can actually start saying, well, tomorrow I'm going to that meeting, but I'm going to wear civvies, or I'm going to be a different person, or I'm going to be more myself. Can I take the courage to disappoint people? Can I say what really is the case without overreacting or underreacting, whatever that is?